Jump! What's going on, y'all? It's the ReviewAnew podcast. I'm your host, DJ.
And I'm one of the greatest.
And this is the podcast where we typically take a second look at our or your favorite pieces of media, be they movies, music, or TV, with the new Boondocks wing of the podcast available exclusively on the Rap Critic Patreon at patreon.com/rapcritic, where you can get all requests half off and all that fun, sexy stuff that you get from being on the Patreon, like joining the Discord and all that stuff. Get to see all my content early. I just put out the bundling up for the winter joint, and I've just realized I hadn't posted up the rap verse yet, so I gotta do that. The rap version of the bundle up for the winter joint that we made, you know, our Snow Day song, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, head on over to patreon.com/rapcritic if you want to see these reviews first and exclusively where you get them first, or kofi.com/rapcritic where you can make your requests and stuff like that for movie requests and song requests, all that fun, sexy shit. But anyways, before we get started though, look, get it out the way. We're chomping at the bit to talk about this, but we got it professional internet shit. Will, where can the fine people find content at if they enjoy your commentary?
Yes, they can find me on YouTube and Threads at Will the Greatest. I also have my own podcast with my host, the real Aaron Alexander, called the Ace Podcast, where we talk all things art, culture, and entertainment, but most specifically pop culture entertainment. Had an episode that dropped around Thanksgiving, and you can also find me on TikTok at will.thegreatest, where I post, clips and random bullshit and stuff like that. But yeah, that's where you can find me at.
So, we had to do this, young. We had to get on this shit. Like, what the fuck?
It's funny that I mentioned Aaron, because it was like Friday morning. I'm in the middle of work. I have like a full 8 hours to go. I had a meeting during my lunchtime, so I was packed the full day. I get a text at like 11:03, and it's just, nigga, Kendrick dropped a whole album. I'm like, son of a bitch! I can't do shit!
No, this is what happened to me. Like, I was like, just happened to be on Instagram, and I'm like, oh yeah, scrolling, I see something that's like, oh, Kendrick Lamar dropped a new clip for, what's from his new album. So I don't even finish reading the video clip on Instagram saying Kendrick dropped a new clip that'll be from his new album, when I get a text from my friend going, yo, Kendrick just dropped a whole album. And so I'm like in the middle of that moment of like, no, they just said he just dropped a clip from that. What are you talking about, whole album?
It's like, what do you mean? He just put out a commercial.
It's like, yes, he did that and he dropped the album.
Just threw my entire day for a whole ass loop.
And it was like, what time? It's like, whoa.
I had just meetings, back-to-back meetings all day, and I'm like, I won't be able to hear this shit for the next 7 hours.
This motherfucker did that shit on purpose.
And I'm like, oh, I'll listen to it during lunch, and I check my schedule, and I'm like, I have another meeting for a whole separate thing I'm like, God damn it, Kendrick Lamar, vengeance will be mine. You thought it was one light skin against you, it's two.
The anticipation. Yeah.
It was nuts.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was just like, oh, okay, I guess we're doing this. Oh, what the fuck? Like, because we were in the middle of like, oh yeah, Chromacopia, that was coming out. That's gonna be the biggest album for a minute, right? Nobody's gonna be talking. It was like, what?
Was it like 3 days?
Yeah.
Or a week, barely?
I think a week.
Like, we had just recorded. I'm like, son of a bitch. Yeah. We just recorded this. I'm like, well, all right, there goes that momentum.
Yeah.
Thanks, K-Dot.
Right. Like, oh, who else is gonna drop?
Like, it's like, well, you told him to drop, and here his ass goes.
But look, you know us, you know the brand of RC Industries at this point. We always like to take our time. We always like to really think about, because, I see you Instagrammers out there. You know what I'm saying? I see you motherfuckers. Y'all on the hype train, you know what I'm saying? You came on the hype train, a couple stops back, a couple months back, So now anything he's doing is like, oh, what? You know what I'm saying? I see the writers ready to always, jump out and do the soy face at the camera and be like, whoa, what? Whoa. Here's the thing. That's part of it too, right? The excitement. But I also believe that there's a critical side of it too. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that can get lost in the sauce. So your boy RC is here to catch it on the backswing. So to be like, wait a minute, let's have some extra thoughts about this and not just do the exasperated screams at the camera, because you are motherfucking observers who know you're being observed, and so you do the most with your reactions. I'm just saying. So let's step on up and get stepped up. Like, it's still fun to be excited about something new and like listen to it too.
Yeah, no, like hype culture is a big thing for like album rollouts, and it's like you have to be of a specific caliber of hype and talent to be able to just kind of have shadow drops or just like very, very limited marketing drops. The only other person I can think of that's really pulled this off is Beyonce. So J. Cole, I think, could possibly do it. I don't think Drake could. His output's too consistent. I think he's done it before, and I think it worked out fine.
Well, he's done some like,
he's done it before, so it does fine.
Because if you're reading It's Too Late, I think he did. Yeah.
So it's like, let me rescind that. It's worked out for him. It's not uncommon, but it's become a little bit more frequent. But before we get into the album, do we want to talk about the minor elephant in the room?
Oh, what?
That I messaged you about the other day, the fellas over at Potty Mouth and their continued disinterest.
In what?
In the musings of Mr. Lamar. So shout outs to Potty Mouth Podcast and Wave the Red Flag, which is where I've first seen them from. I've seen a couple clips of Potty Mouth show before. A lot of people are seeing GNX as like a victory lap following the success of like Not Like Us and outright stomping Drake like he was Spyro run over with a wheelbarrow. They saw the album as very angry and bitter and feel like he's like angry at his own success, which is not at all the vibe or interpretation I got. And I did not seem alone going off their comment section. Now, granted, like calling people names over their opinions of music is a little unnecessary, I would say, but I think you have a right to disagree however vehemently you may feel. But I don't know, I thought it was just interesting because I was trying to listen to the conversation and it seemed almost discrediting to like a fault, where it's like not even like hyping up Drake. It's like, oh well, it's like Kendrick's like this and Kendrick's like that based off of like his artistic persona. I'm like, how did you interpret that? It was like a fascinating extrapolation, and this isn't me trying to like stir drama bullshit because they've been consistent with this throughout the beef.
I've seen some of his commentary. I feel like he's someone who's a bit tilted in Drake's favor from some of the commentary.
But you're allowed to feel that way. He lost, but you're allowed to feel that way.
But that said, I still do like to listen to people's commentary.
Yeah.
What is their argument? And
yeah.
That said, I feel like definitely track 1 is certainly angry, and I think coming from a specific place.
I'm not saying there's no angry tracks. Track 1 definitely is. After that, I'm like, the rest of them? Like Luther? Luther is angry?
Yeah. So I'll say up front, I feel like this is a solid enough album that definitely has a couple of like underwhelming moments, but in a way that still like allows me to enjoy like the general vibe of what's happening. So not enough that something threw me off in terms of it being like, what, is he bitter about something? No, it just kind of felt like a general like we're rolling through his mind in terms of like one aspect to another. Like
there's multiple like, themes and narrative bits here, which I'm a lot more affectionate toward this album than I'd say most people and maybe even some fans are. I love this album.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it too.
I came out loving it because it's like by the end I'm like, cool, let me start that over again. Start it from the top.
There's just a lot of vocal inflection moments that are just so punchy. Like I realized, I looked up, it was like a couple of these songs are like, most of them are actually in the top 10 this week. Actually right now as we speak, like the top 5 songs are all Kendrick Lamar's album. And then there's like 5 Kendrick Lamar songs and then Shabuzi and Bruno Mars and like Lady Gaga songs. Like, you know, 2 names that are so huge. Of course they're gonna have a big hit. And then 2 more Kendrick Lamar songs and then All I Want for Christmas Is You. I was like,
damn.
Whoa, yo, Kendrick Lamar canceled Mariah Carey's Christmas. No.
And the fact Mariah Carey.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Mariah Carey's coming to his house like, now listen here, short stack. This is my season. I don't think you understand the rules of the game.
Because I was like, wait a minute. I was expecting to be like, because I saw one song was number 2. I think TV Off was number 2. And I was like, wow, that's insane that that's the hit. But you know why? It's because the inflection and the delivery is so intense. Of course that became a meme. Of course that became that. Because it's such a moment.
Literally, before we were talking, somebody has done the mashup version. And I was wondering why it seemed familiar. I know we're jumping ahead slightly, but it's like, but the TV Off's beat sound like the Ultra Instinct theme from Dragon Ball Super. I'm like, why do those like piano keys sound familiar with dun, dun, dun? It's the fucking Ultra Instinct theme, so somebody put it in there.
Well, goddamn it.
I'm like, well, now it's perfect. Now this is the Song of Champions, down to like the points where the dun, 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 dun. I'm like,
yeah, and it feels like they did that on purpose, right? Like
I thought it was a reference to Aladdin. where he has that song where he's running through the street. And
That's awesome.
It's like, no, it's a fucking Dragon Ball Super reference. Like, that's impressive.
Starting with track 1, Whacked Out Murals.
Yeah.
Which, just starting with this sort of like, for what has been purported to be a victory lap, I wouldn't say that this first track really sounds like that, right? Like,
no, this sounds like somebody plotting a drive-by. This is music to be murdered by.
Yeah, oh my God, yeah, let's not think about that. One of the nominees for Album of the Year, apparently, Eminem's The Last Hurrah, or whatever the hell it was called, the Coup de Grace.
That's a choice. That's a choice.
I do not get that one.
Who the fuck decided that?
You know how it goes, but...
That's half of a good album.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, what the hell?
The first track, Yesterday, Somebody Whacked Out My Mural. That energy will make you niggas move to Europe. But it's regular for me. Yeah, that's for sure. The love and the hate is definite without a cure. It's like, it's such like a, oh, wow, this is...
Yesterday, somebody whacked out my mural. It's like the way he delivers it is so sinister and the beat is so simple. Just dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun.
Yeah, that's right.
The fuck is this man playing? Like, to open your album with just like Spanish singing, and then this sounds like you're exiting a funeral.
Yeah.
You killed him, and you're looking over the casket. It's like, yesterday somebody whacked out my mirror.
But just the way it opened.
Niggas move to Europe. It's like what the it's devious.
As much as they're acting, like I said, as if this is a victory lap. First thing he's saying is like, I know the love and the hate is there. I know it's both there. It feels very measured in a way that Kendrick Lamar always kind of is.
Yep.
There's the heavyweight lyric drop moments, but then there's introspection that melds into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then early on, he starts just throwing out names in a way that's like, whoa, we're just saying these people, oh my God. Used to bump the Carter 3, held my rolling chain proud, iron knee, I think my hard work like Lil Wayne down. It was just like, oh.
Which is weird because people thought that, including Wayne, thought that was a shot. It's like, it's not a shot. It's kind of it's shock.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I used to love the Carter 3. Now I'm going to be doing the Super Bowl and Wayne isn't. Oops. I was too successul for my own good? It's like, I don't feel bad, but oops.
He's clearly alluding to the fact that he just killed your boy Drake on these tracks, right? Like, oh, I think I let you down by going at your kid. Oh, and I've got this. Dang, I'm sorry that all this that I'm doing seems to be getting on your nerves. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like but it's one of those like, I don't think he's saying it in a sort of like, I'm trying to dig at you. It feels like a sort of like,
no,
I'm just doing me and I'm going at what I'm going at. It's like, I'm not coming at you, but like, you're taking it this way.
Yeah.
But, if you're going to take it that way, it's like, look.
That's how I saw it.
Yeah,
Your disapproval is a consequence of my success, but it wasn't intentional. It's like, oh, I hurt your feelings by accident. Oops. Anyways, it's like, hey, I just did the best I could. It just so happened that everything worked out for me. So I'm not sorry, but...
Yeah, and then when he says, Snoop posted tailor-made, I prayed it was the edibles. Like, it just feels like the point of this verse, like he's being willing to say the names just to be like, I'm going to make it real for you. It doesn't feel like it's trying to be a shot. It's trying to be just honest about how he's receiving this,
It's like, well, that was weird that Unc would post a diss track against me.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, and it probably was partially what inspired him to go as hard as he did in terms of being like, I'm putting the West Coast on my back, Snoop, right now.
Yeah.
It's
like carrying the W for somebody has to.
Yeah. And then, what did he say? Won the Super Bowl, and Nas the only one to congratulate me. All these niggas agitated. I'm just glad they're showing their faces.
Which, was that I don't know if this was intentional or not. This may be coincidental. Like an inversion of Let Nas Down?
I think so. I think that's what he was going for.
That might be just a weird coincidence. It's like one Super Bowl.
I don't think he was trying to do a shot at J. Cole with that. Yeah, no, I don't think that was...
I don't think it was intentional, but it's just like, I think it's ironic that the one person that was like, hey, congrats, Kendrick, was Nas. And then years back, J. Cole was like, man, I let Nas down by doing pop rap.
I mean, look.
And Kendrick's like, well, I didn't, clearly. couldn't be me.
The only one I didn't let down was Nas.
Oh my God, he's a criminal mastermind.
Oh my God, you think he's that? Just being petty on all of these levels.
It's like, you don't understand, man.
The way he goes like, quite frankly, plenty of artists, but they outdated old-ass flows trying to convince me that you their favorite. This is not for lyricists. I swear it's not the sentiments. Fucking double entendre. I want y'all to feel this shit. It's like, oh.
What's that one quote from that TV show go? It's like, I know authors use subtext and they're all cowards.
Right.
It's like that. That's what I've respected about Kendrick. Yeah, fuck a double entendre. I want y'all to feel the shit. He's been saying this since Control.
Yeah.
He's been saying the same shit for over a decade. He's like, look, I'm the best. If you want to be the best, fuck with your boy. But you won't, so someone has to. Like,
yeah.
He's been consistent with this. This is not new.
The thing about everybody is always playing the game of like, I'm the best rapper alive. I'm the best rapper alive.
Yeah.
And he was just the only one who's just like, wait, to pull the fucking boo. Like, wait, are we actually going to do it? Prove it, bitch. And like, everyone went,
Yeah, because like, I remember when Control like shook the industry because he called out everybody, and those were his contemporaries that he liked, which included Drake.
Yeah.
That included Drake at that time, because A$AP Rocky, Drake, what was it, Tyler, Jermaine, Cole, Mac Miller,
and he said, I got love for y'all,
but I'm trying to murder you niggas. Like,
yeah, he made it pretty clear.
He made it clear, and to this day, he's like, fuck a double entendre. I want y'all to feel this shit. He's not mad, but he's like, no one has stepped up to beat me. Now, do I think there are rappers that theoretically could? Maybe. But none of them are on the Billboard top 100 right now.
Your boy getting spicy. He's like, since y'all pandering to choose a side, let me do it for you. Okay, fuck your hip hop. I watched the party die. And then niggas cackling about, well, all of y'all is on trial. I was like, oh. That's the one where it's like, okay, it's clear who he's talking about there. But then the earlier lyric, do you remember that? He says, I paid homage and I always mind my business. I made the, and then it cuts out for a really long time. And it's like, what did he say there?
Yeah. Do we know what that was? Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck did they say where you got to the final cut? It's like, cut that from the album. They don't need to hear that. But he kept, respect to indigenous folk, but he kept Eskimo in there. But cutouts, I'm like, what the fuck did you say? It was worse than the slur.
What annoys me is that if you don't want people to hear what you said, then change the lyric and say something else. But if you don't, well, now we gotta know what you said. And it's like,
yeah, like how Eminem would censor the F slur, and I'm just like, just don't say it. Pick another word. At that point, like.
Now, when he says niggas cackling about, well, all y'all's on trial, like, I get that in terms of, I don't even want his name to be on my album.
Yeah.
Like, I get that. It's like, so you know who I said, but you know that I'm not going to say it. But when he said, I made the, and it's like a whole sentence, it's like 3/4 of a sentence is gone. And you're like, how are we supposed to?
It lets a couple counts go. It's like, niggas talking. Shit sounded like the fucking Titanic submersible, just like in the middle of a sentence. Just boop.
Yeah, it just feels like if you're gonna say it, you might as well say it if it's this long of a sentence. I've heard some people saying, I made the party die to resurrect it, or something like that, because they're trying to figure out what rhymes with business. And somebody said, I made the born sinner ask for forgiveness, or something like that. Like, is that a shot at J. Cole? You know what I mean? But then they cut it off. But
maybe the title for the part 2 that's rumored to be coming out after this. And he cut the title. I was like, well, if I tell them now, they're not going to know. They're going to be spoiled for the secret later.
Here's the thing. Do you remember when this happened, though? Kendrick Lamar put out Damn, and people were like, oh, he's going to put out God next, you see, because it's going to be called God. Damn, there's got to be a second part.
Oh, I thought it was Nation.
Or, yeah, that was it,
The one I kept saying was Nation, where it's like Damnation.
Yeah.
It's like, y'all are waiting for Nation, the second part.
And he was just like, oh, nah, we haven't planned anything. It was just like, nah, guys, sorry. I hate to raise your expectations and dash them accordingly, but unfortunately, you're overthinking internet. And see, that's my problem too when it comes to guys like Kendrick Lamar. Part of me wants to go like, ooh, are these the little nuggets of things? And the other part of me wants to go like, but there are a lot of bored people on the internet who want to like play up things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's somewhere between like Quentin Tarantino and the guy that made Twin Peaks in terms of his creativity.
Right, David Lynch, yeah.
Yeah, David Lynch, where it's like some of it is explicit text and some of it is subtext. and you'll never know which one he's doing because he will switch up on your ass depending on his mood. Like, everybody wonders, like, oh, what does GNX mean?
Yeah.
What's GNX mean? And then you look it up. It is a car model that he likes. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, and I think it's the one that his dad
Yeah.
drove him home from the hospital and when he was born and was playing Big Daddy Kane.
Yeah.
So that's like the significance. This hip hop shit's been in my veins.
Or even like the final track, Gloria. I'm like, damn, who's Gloria?
Yeah.
That's not his wife's name.
Yeah.
He ain't got no daughter. It's like, Gloria is a pen, a very expensive pen brand. I'm like, oh.
What?
Okay, that's cool.
That's what that meant. I thought he was going for like a, holy Bible, Gloria in Excelsis or some shit.
Allegedly, it is a very expensive pen brand that he, I think, actually has held before in like some promotional videos that he's done.
But death of the author,
Yeah.
to a certain extent, right? Like we can be allowed to like have our imaginations, especially sometimes when you hear like I remember there would be times where people would talk about Eminem quadruple entendres that they found, and there was an interview with Eminem where he was just like, oh, I didn't intend that, but that's cool that you guys thought that,
Yeah.
It's like, look, if you have 7 billion people poring over your work, you're gonna get a lot of interpretations, in this modern day and age, where anyone can kind of like, oh, well, my thing is this. I think this. You know what I mean? Like, I think that is kind of interesting in a way. It's in a fun way nowadays where I feel like I'm glad that we are thinking about lyrics because I've thought about this before. Like, I remember like 10, 15 years ago, most of the responses I would get when I would talk about lyrics and when people wanted to like shut down what I was saying, it would be like, oh, it's just lyrics. Like, whatever. It's not that deep. Like, I feel like I don't get that anymore. I feel like most of the time.
It's only half the song.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel like more often than not, people are actually engaging with possible interpretation of the message of the lyrics, which I feel like is a cool thing, right? That we're like actually trying to engage the art instead of just, who even cares?
Yeah, and I think it's good. I'm glad that there is a level of like critical analysis coming back around, specifically to like the medium of rap and hip hop, because it's like the greater party era, it's not like there hasn't always been a party era to rap, where it's just like lyrics can just kind of like pass by, and I'm definitely part of this problem.
They're floating with the mood. Yeah,
like if you look at my Spotify rap, it's mostly party hype, bop, bad bitch shit. So it's like, it's not a lot of lyrical analysis. So it's like, and that's one of the things I like about the album is kind of diverse, and it's like, it's not that the songs don't have a message, and it's not like there isn't anything to analyze or extrapolate. There is a balance that can be achieved. There's a complexity to
there's a complexity to it. Yeah, he's trying to all round this shit. He's trying to make the party joint that still has lyrics in it, like that still can be a TikTok moment. Like you can hear him like really actively being a character and leaping off the screen of the music. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Like I have similar praise to this that I have for Chromacopia. It's just like, I just think this one is a little bit more accessible to certain degrees, just because Tyler's a very different kind of artist.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is going to have more broader appeal, I think, in terms of its sound.
Yeah. I think there's a little bit of a conversation we could have at the end about, you don't have to compare things. It's not like, directly, but it is hip hop. It is a little bit of it.
I mean, it's not a right or wrong, but we're allowed to have opinions.
Exactly.
And it's hip hop. Like, it's like competition's in the spirit. Oh, I was just saying, it's like analysis is always going to be good just for the art form, because a lot of people still kind of dismiss it as like party music and stuff like that. It's like, no, that's what hits the mainstream. There's plenty of artists all the time that do artistic stuff.
Speaking of interesting lyrics, squabble up.
Squabble up.
You gotta talk about this shit. Look, what the fuck?
What a U-turn. What a hard left. In terms of tone, it's just like, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna stomp out all the enemies in hip hop. Anyways, we about to hit these bops, hit these licks, woke up looking for the Brock. Finally, we got payoff for a goddamn song that was teased.
Oh my God, the diss track, yo.
Thank God. I hate when rappers do that and the shit never drops.
And never release the shit.
Oh, that'd be pissing me off.
The way it was oh my God, the way he was basically just going like, yeah, I am using you to fucking Super Mario stomp on your Drake's corpse to like promote my next shit. Yes, that was the plan.
Yep.
But oh my God.
It's like, well, yes, I am about to crit walk over his grave.
Yeah.
That is his career.
And then, like I said, the way it's like, it's not just a lyrical track. There's like a bunch of hooks on this shit. The fucking, I feel good, get the fuck out my face. I look good, but she ain't got no taste.
Look good, but she don't got no taste.
The way it sounded like he was like hitting his throat while putting auto-tune on it. It's like, what the fuck? Like, has anyone thought of that before? Is he the first person to think of that?
Kendrick has always like played with his vocal intonation. I think this album is the one where he's done it the most, which is always funny to me. Right. It's like, oh man, God, what a fun song. I love the West Coast sound
Yes.
all across the album. Someone's called it like the Not Like Us type of music. And I'm like, it's West Coast. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, this is all just pulling from Mustard, and him taking lineage from like Dr. Dre and all that, like, whistly tone, synths and the fucking deep basses, the hi-fi shit. Like, come on now.
Beat is fucking cooking the whole time. The lyrics just jump and bump left and right.
Oh my goodness. It's so crazy.
What the fuck? I got hits, I got bucks, I got new paper cuts, I got friends, I got foes, but they all sitting ducks.
Yeah.
Him playing with rhymes is always fun too, in incorporation with like his vocal tonality, just because it's like it seems like he never does something more than twice.
Oh yeah. Thunk, 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 baby, rocking it, quid pro quo, what you want, cause I'm watching it, work on the flow, let me know if you're clocking it, Brody won't go, but I know that he popping it, it was Wolf tickets on sale, had to silence it, like, oh shit. And then, and it's like, yeah, bitch with him and some bitch in him. That's a lot of bitch. Don't hit him. Got his kids with him. My apologies.
Get him tired of Black Miles with the smearing off. Yeehaw, we outside. Wody about to kill him off.
Blaps on blaps.
Like, it's like, also, it's just like, yeah, blaps on blaps. Like,
right. Tell me why the fuck you niggas rap.
I don't think I heard blaps in a minute. Like, I think the last time I heard blaps was in Black Lady Sketch Show. Like, scat, scatter, scatter, scatter.
Like just the inflection. Tell me why the fuck you niggas rap if it's fictional. Tell me why the fuck you niggas fed if you criminal. Hey Doc, can I get a drop? I'm like, nigga, no. Like the way the intensity
Ace Boom
builds.
Coon from the West Side to Senegal. Oh my God.
It's a full moon. Let the wolf out.
I heard Ace Boom Coon in a minute.
Like the intensity is sold so well.
This is for the niggas, strictly for the niggas. Like,
oh my God.
This is like prime cookout music.
Yes.
This is where your 70-year-old uncle suddenly gets up out of his rickety-crickety chair and start crip walking.
It's the Kendrick Lamar dance that he did in the I Love Myself video, It's the...
Yep. This is just a minor aside related to Squabble Up. Did you see the video for it?
Yes, of course.
That was very interesting. And more details are coming out. He shoots videos like Beyonce where he was like CGI'd into it later on. Or like green screen into it later. And apparently like people that were on the set didn't know it was for a Kendrick video.
That's weird and crazy.
They were just doing their thing and then found out after the fact, which I'm like, can you imagine?
What is going?
It's like your agent calls you, it's like, hey, we got you a gig. It's like, oh, cool. Yeah, it's for some rapper.
I'm like, oh, okay, whatever, yeah.
We'll just let it go through. And then a couple months, like, it's like, yeah, sure, I'll do my thing. Then you find out it's fucking Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, it's like, the rapper right now, right? Wait
a minute.
Was there anything else about the video that you wanted to bring up?
No, I thought it was interesting.
The only thing I was thinking about is the Christmas thing that randomly unfurled at the end that you awkwardly heard the noise of, which is like, it's like Christmas at the pop-up or whatever.
It's like, well, all right.
Was this just an ad for like this turkey giveaway thing you're doing? Like, is that what's happening?
A Kendrick Lamar Christmas.
This man is so...
It's like the Sabrina Carpenter holiday special.
Yeah.
After that, we get a Kendrick Lamar Christmas. A Kendrick Lamar Kwanzaa special. Wait a second. We might be onto something.
And this is the thing. People do this with Kendrick where they treat him as if he's the serious super rapper who is very dumb. He is a very funny guy.
He's very silly.
He is actually a very funny
he's
person.
A very... Like, if you've seen him, that clip of him on Power where he plays a crackhead, the one time he's acted, he is alarmingly good at it. And I don't mean that in a sort of, like, derogatory way. I mean that, like, I'm watching, I'm just like, yeah, I believe it. You are conveying the expression just like, yeah, you look like somebody that's struggling with addiction that I would probably run into on the streets. It's like, this is a very believable performance. Like, and I also almost can't tell it's you.
Right.
Because half your head is braided and the other half with a fro. I'm like, again, it's a very convincing performance. I feel like you really pulled from some life experience.
But, what was the next? Oh, yeah, okay. So then we get to Luther. And, I enjoy it for what it is. But I do personally feel like it feels like a bit of a step down. Especially just even in terms of the songs that Kendrick and SZA have done together already, right? Like... or no,
it's a shift in
vibe.
vibe.
But I mean just in terms of like also as well, like the other love song crossover R&B joints he's done, right? Like Love, the give me one for my money, or the one with Rihanna,
Loyalty.
yeah, loyalty.
Fucking
Yeah, that's
good.
the king right there. Like in terms of like his R&B love songs. So when I hear this one, I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I hear the Luther sample. Of course, you're gonna sample Luther. That's the obvious thing to do, right? But it just felt a little underwhelming in terms of lyrics, especially. Like, and I'm not saying everything needs to be super lyrical, but like the way it felt oddly simplified. It felt like he was trying to do a symbolism thing, but it was like it just wasn't like connecting or hitting as a strong lyric. Like, hey, Roman numeral 7, babe, drop it like it's hot. It just felt like a Roman numeral 7. Like that's like I'm just like, yes, I know it means something. 7 is the representation of the life, and you know what I mean. But it's just like it doesn't hit like a line, and he says it
VII.
twice, so it's kind of like Roman numeral 7, like
Roman numeral 7 is VII.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
like did that?
Hey, Vi. Oh, wait a second. What's his wife's name?
Whitney.
Oh, then it's not her. Then I'm like, who the hell is Vi?
Yeah, I don't like. A lot. If you go to the Genius page, the number 7 represents divine completeness and perfection, as seen in the creation story. We got. You know what I mean? But it's like, is that what he's saying? And is that clear what's being said here?
Is he talking about the 7 producers on the song or something?
I mean,
it's hey.
Again,
although calling him Bay would be an interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing another comment in the Genius where someone's saying, "Oh, it could have been reference to his own discography as his 7th album," but it's like, what does that have to do with anything? Like, it just kind of like felt underwhelming in terms of like what, like it did. Like if it sounded cool, it'd be like there's that balance, right? Like, oh, I don't really get what it means, but it's provocative. It gets the people going. But Roman numeral 7, like that. That's not, you know what I mean? And the romance.
I don't know. I ain't heard nobody say nothing like that before.
I guess, but on the romance song, it just feels kind of like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
If this world was mine, I'd take your enemies in front of God, introduce them to that light, strictly hit them with that fire, and then just do the fire. It just feels like, what's happening? Why is this the love song? Are you sure? Like, what's happening?
Yeah, it's like what's the Thug Love song, which would actually track for him and SZA going for one of those, because that would be very on brand.
But I just feel like it's not until the 3rd verse where they really start saying some concrete shit like, I can't lie, I trust you, I love you, I won't waste your time, I turn it off just so I can turn it on. Like it's not till like a little over halfway through the song where I feel like we're getting like actual lyrics that are tying into what feels like a love song. You know what I mean? And then come and put that on my titty, soul, Rari, crowd stack. Like it just kind of felt like, okay, all right, where is this going? Like,
Which is like, I do like the call and response, and there's a song later on that plays with that a little bit more, but it's like, it might just be more of like a vibe. This is definitely like perfect smoke sesh, foreplay. This is good foreplay music.
Yeah, the instruments were definitely good, but it just felt like it didn't come around to anything. Ultimately,
what'd you think about like SZA on the chorus kind of verse?
I think SZA, well, I mean, vocally, she's of course going to be incredible every time. Like this wasn't SZA's, problem to fix. She was bringing it. I feel like anytime. I mean, recently she did those 2 tracks with Drake on an. Oh, did I just find another thing? Oh, remember on Drake's last album, he did 2 songs with SZA, and now Kendrick Lamar's doing 2 songs with SZA. Oh, damn! Submit that, internet.
It's like challengers for niggas.
Yeah. But no,
and she's in there just running back and forth, but she gonna stay with Kendrick.
Oh, she's right, she's taking him to Canada, I hear, recently. Isn't that what's happening for two tours there, because Toronto who sold out so well?
Yeah, they just announced a second show in Toronto because the first one sold out.
Oh man, why Kendrick, why so?
God damn. I wonder if Drake is in his mansion and just in the distance like do 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 do. He just hears the stadium boom, boom, boom.
Oh
boom,
man,
boom,
he hears
boom.
it from his house.
It's just them doing Not Like Us in the distance.
Oh my god, that's gotta be horror.
He be trying to go to sleep like with the pillow over his. He's like, make it stop, please. It's like,
bro, you brought this on yourself. You're the one who dropped 2 back-to-back diss tracks. You wanted this heat.
He told him to drop.
Yeah, right. It's like like you can't even be like, oh, Kendrick, he was too mean to you.
Come on, Kendrick, drop.
Yeah.
Do it, bitch. Drop. Drop the music, Kendrick. Ha! You want to rap like a guy that wants to get the slaves freed. It's like, I don't think that was the death shot that you thought it was. I feel like invoking. I think Kendrick's like, oh, you just gave me the alley-oop.
Right.
Invoking slavery to people that are the product of chattel slavery.
That makes me think of something. Colonialism and people stealing people's styles. Yeah.
It's like, boy, that sounds familiar.
Talk about building off of someone's diss, like Jesus Christ.
Right. It's like, look, you gave me the ammo.
This man really wrestling moved this guy up against the ropes and just like double drop.
Use his own momentum against him.
Yeah, like a fucking Jeet Kune Do move. Oh man. But yeah, like I said, track number 3, like it's a nice contrast and I enjoy the change in energy, of course, but it just feels like a little underwhelming in terms of what they, and like I said, it's not SZA's, fault. She's coming with the vocalisms, It just felt like the verses were like repeating Roman numeral 7 just feels like a what were you expecting me to think and go with that? You know what I mean?
The only other thing I could think of is like 7 in the alphabet is G. Could be like A, G, Bay, drop it like it's hot. But then somebody will be like, G, he means God. God is actually the holiest of love. And
but it's like, it's too non-specific to get any points. You know what I mean? It's like...
it is. Yeah, that's the conspiracy brain activating of what Roman numeral 7 means.
See, now this is what real criticism and commentary do. We're not just kissing ass over here. Okay, we're being critical. We coming at you with this shit that we feel there's something out. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I'm gonna give the, you know what I'm saying, the accolades, the accolades, as he says it, when it's due. But like, there's still some parts where I'm like, oh, all right, that didn't hit as strong for me. Man at the Garden, though, is definitely, we're right back to where we need to be in terms of like, incredible just beat work as well as lyrics on top of it, oh my god, and the vocal inflection, twice emotional stability of sound, body, and tranquility. I deserve it all. The way this man says, I deserve it all.
Which, I know rappers can be selfish, but I think this is...
He makes his case.
One of the most like purely... But also with like the...
Right.
The oomph to kind of back it up, where it's just like, look, I've done all this work and I'm getting all the success and I deserve it. Fuck what you think. I worked hard. It paid off for me. Yay me. Fuck you.
It really is one of those, because you know how like early on, he would be like,
this is the victory lap song.
Right. This is the one where it's like, actually, you know what? I got to be an artist and bare my soul and give all this doubt, and they're like, oh, am I really like a good person? Da, da, da. But you know what? No, actually, I'm a kick back, smoke the cigar, and be like, I deserve where I'm at. Actually,
yeah, it's like, you know what? I put in. It's like I put in the work and time, and every bit of success that I have. I'm not, he has the song Humble. Fuck being humble.
Yeah,
this is like the anti-humble. Right. It's like, I'm not being humble no more. I was humble for all them years in the trenches. I was humble and passive in the past.
Take a look around at what
yeah, like even with the lyrics like VVS's White Diamonds, GNX with the seat back reclining, bitch, I deserve it all. Put my homes on the beachfront, flying private, what you eat for lunch? I deserve it all. The respect and the accolades, lamping on the island, watching Castaway, I deserve it all. Yeah, I don't know why. Big Tom Hanks fan. Rappers have weird tastes.
I will say, why you watching, look, even if it is like a private resort island, that just feels like not the movie to watch. Like when you're on an island.
I feel like that's the last movie you want to watch on a private island, actually. But that says a lot where it's like, yeah, I can buy a private island, then watch a movie about somebody stranded on an island. Because I have that much money and no fear.
Yeah. Oh, wow. It's the ultimate flex.
It's like I'm coaxing God to take this away from me because I know that I deserve it.
Right. You would be afraid if you were on an island by yourself and the movie Castaway started playing. But I'm actually so comfortable, it's not an issue.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like the whole... this is the flex. And it's like, this isn't angry. This is like, if anything, these are affirmations. Really. Yeah. Keep my name by the world leaders. Keep my crowds loud inside Ibiza. Ooh. I deserve it all. More money, more power, more freedom. Everything heaven allowed us, bitch. I deserve it all. This is an affirmation track. You just turn this on to get your day started.
The way he said, like, my name is next to the world leaders and pumping in the clubs at a beat. Like literally I'm getting the respect in the political like world in terms of that shit. And I'm also pumping in the club. I got it all, bitch. Like,
yeah, it's like, I win. It wasn't Nikki. Nikki said, I win, you lose.
Good day, sir. Then we get Hey Now, Say Now. And now, like, this was a track, like, again, you get the the funness of the bouncing off of the beat hook from Kendrick Lamar. But again, it felt like a bit of a, like, the hook felt like a bit of a placeholder, right? It's just Hey Now, Say Now. Hey Now, Say Now.
I keep getting Hey Now and Peekaboo confused.
Yeah. Now, Peekaboo I felt was the better track, but you get what I mean? It's a similar sort of like, there's a very enunciation focused, punchy line delivery rap sort of thing that he's kind of like falling back on for the hooks, which can work, I think, at some points, but on this one feels like a bit just like, yeah, he does this better later on, you know what I'm saying? Then we get to Reincarnated, and this track is definitely one of the fucking like, whoa, we're in the stratosphere. What the fuck is this track about? Halfway through the verse, you're just kind of like, wait, what's going on? Oh, I thought he was rapping about himself. He's talking about, let's take it back to Michigan in 1947. My father kicked me out the house because I wouldn't listen. Like, I didn't care about his influence. I only loved what I was doing. And you're like, oh, wait, this is a story about, this old, blues musician. And then it kind of goes like, oh, wait, now we're talking about like a singer who, you know what I'm saying, was doing things, but then kind of got caught up with drugs and shit. And then it's like, oh, now we're talking about me. And it's like, I am all of these people, that I've lived all of these lives, and I am these people, and they are me. He starts rapping, and then like some spirit or entity, which sounds like a whole bunch of people, like in one voice, start talking to him. And it was like, it's like, Father, I'm not perfect. I got urges, but I hold them down. It's like, but your pride has to die. Okay, Father, show me how. Tell me every deed that you've done and what you do it for. Like, I keep it 100. I keep 100 institutions paid. Okay, tell me more. I put 100 hoods on one stage. Okay, tell me more. I'm trying to push peace in LA, but you love war. No, I don't. Oh, yes, you do. Like, I love how it's like doubting him. It's like, okay, then tell me the truth. And then they're like, every individual is only a version of you. Yeah, and what I like is that it pulls together that, because at first it can kind of feel like, oh, I am these legends of the past because I'm so fucking awesome. But then with this line, he goes like, every individual is only a version of you. How can they forgive when there's no forgiveness in your heart? And it's like, whoa, it's like the way it pulls that emotional string there, you know what I mean? Right. And then, what is it? You fell out of heaven because you was anxious, didn't like authority, only searched to be heinous. Isaiah 14 was the only thing that was prevalent. And then it just kind of pauses for a second, and then it gets back in the verse. So I just thought it was like, whoa, what's going on there?
It's like, marinate on that for a second. It's like,
yeah, exactly, because Now that we,
I don't think y'all heard me the first time,
right? And then of course, fucking turn his TV off. Look, now the first part is definitely good. You know what I'm saying? Definitely enjoyable for what it is. Especially with because I feel like people don't talk about it's not enough. Hey, few solid niggas left, but it's not enough. You bitches that really step, but it's not enough. Like that's a fucking hook in and of itself. You know what I mean?
I mean, shit. The way that if this was like the first song, and then you went into Whacked Out Murals, like that would have been fucking nuts.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Because like literally, all I ever wanted was a black Grand National. Fuck being rational. Give them what they asked for. It's like, but like that's an amazing opening line.
Yeah, right.
Because like that shit definitely sits on several levels.
Yeah, and then but I feel like the first verse doesn't hit as hard. Like, like he starts talking about
solid warm up.
But he's like, you need a man, baby. I don't understand, baby. Pay your bills and make you feel protected like I can, baby. Teach you something that if you need correction, that's the plan, baby. Don't put your life in these weird niggas' hands, baby. Like, it just feels like is that what this song is? Like, this feels like these lyrics needed to be on the, the love song from earlier, right? Like, why is this on the track with it's not enough. You solid niggas, but it's not enough. Like, I don't know.
Call back to Sexy Red's Rich Baby Daddy.
Yeah,
hey, don't put your life in these weird niggas' hands, baby. He's talking directly to Sexy Red. It felt like it should have been a part of that type of song, not about the song. He's gonna pull her next on part 2.
Yeah, and then what is it? Cause the second verse kind of like, it's just kind of getting on some like, hardcore hypey shit, you know, like, hey,
Yeah.
turn this TV off. Ain't with my type activities that don't get involved. You know what I mean? And then he does like a hey what? He does a weird vocal inflection here. Where he's like, hey what? It was like, what's going on? Like, he is just fucking tweaking right now. He's just fucking hype on his own shit.
He probably
right
was.
now.
He took 2 espressos and went to the booth. But it's like, I love like the accusatory way at the first time. It's like, hey, turn his TV off. It's like he's pointing at somebody like, hey, cut that man's TV off. Wait.
You're right.
Click.
I was watching that. The Proud Mama, the Proud Family.
Yeah,
I was watching that.
It's like,
man.
hey, with my type activities, then don't you get involved. It's like,
Yeah, and
he's just yelling at the listener the best way.
And wait, does chili mean money now? Is that are we doing this? Because he's like, hey, young nigga, get your chili up. I meant that. Like, hey, black, if they act out, yeah, I did that. Because then later on he goes like, I hate a bitch that's hating on a bitch and they both those. I hate a nigga hating on them niggas and they both broke. If you ain't coming for no chili, what you come for? It's like, wait, is he trying to make chili a thing? Was that a thing? I mean, if that's just like you guys got to tell me.
It might be now, but that is a good point though. He's like, I hate a bitch that's hating on a bitch and they both. It's like, fuck you, no, fuck you. Look, let's settle down. We're both hoes. Like, let's not.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh, yeah, it's like, oh, your wallet's fake. Oh, your jacket fake. Fellas, you're both bums. It's okay. There's enough to go around. Like, let's.
Yeah, that's right. You know what I mean? Let's come together.
We're all victims under capitalism. It's okay.
Yeah.
No need to compete.
But see, for me, like, the hook is killer here, but the verses are a little It's not until the part 2 where it really starts
when he goes Super Saiyan on the beat.
Like, he's just like he's feeling the electricity.
You feel the charge
fingers.
up.
Yeah, he's like, and he's like, but you see him look like he's just kind of feeling it, but what he's actually doing is like trying to get where that sensation is, you know? So he's like, oh, I've got it now. Like, I feel it. Master! And like you see the lightning strike. It's like you've been summoned.
Like you seen like any like Gohan or Goku when they're pissed. Like,
oh yeah, of course.
Hey, Master!
Oh man, just turn his TV off. Turn his TV off. Turn his now. Genius is saying it's turn his TV off, but I'm just hearing.
I thought it was turn this.
Yeah, turn his TV like because it's like I can't fucking fuck with this bullshit anymore. Now, like, I feel like it's like it would have been more directly tying it in. I felt like if he would said so like, oh, I can't watch these bum ass rappers on this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like something like that. But he kind of doesn't really like relate it. It just kind of goes into his verse, you know? Because it's like it could be turn this TV off, like I ain't trying to see this shit, or like I'm about to knock his lights out. Yeah, turn his TV off. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
cut the lights off in this bitch. Cut that nigga TV off.
I'm about to cut this
like
tubes
that.
off.
I like that read better. Hey, it's like he watching cartoons. Cut that nigga's TV off.
Yeah.
You want to be childish? Cut that TV off.
Turn his TV off. About to switch that shit to PBS. About to learn you something.
Damn. Okay. I missed the Biggie verse there. Especially from Kicking the Door. How'd I miss that? Yeah. Ain't no other king in this rap thing. They siblings. Nothing but mature in one shot. They disappearing. Okay.
And then like the way he bends rhymes, right? Was like, I'm in the city where the flag be getting thrown like it was past interference. Padlock around the building. Crash putting up in unmarked trucks just to play freeze tag with a bone to pick like it was sea bass. I was like, ooh.
I'm like, ooh. It's like, this nigga be eating fancy. All right, sea bass. All right, fish. Trying to show niggas the rope before they hung from a rope. I'm prophetic. The only talk about it, how I get it. Only good for saving face. Seen the cosmetics. How many heads I gotta take to my level, my aesthetics. I never thought I'd see plyometric in a rap.
Plyometric? I was like, wait, what?
Like, who taught this nigga about plyometrics? Shit's just fun. Really, like, especially
and the way he brings it back, send it to the moon, just I feel yelling, Mustard!
Okay, I thought Lefty Gunplay was who's the blood that be rapping?
Oh no, it was the later on the game. Walking New Orleans with the etiquette of LA, yelling Mustard. That was the part, yeah.
So I thought Lefty Gunplay at the outro. I thought that was the game at first until I found it was somebody completely different. We were talking about shit, crazy, scary,
spooky, hilarious, crazy,
not Game.
scary.
No, I thought he was somebody
hilarious.
else. I think I thought it was like Dave East or somebody with like a real West Coast accent.
Did you think it was just Gunplay? Like the other guy whose name is just Gunplay? Isn't there a rapper just named Gunplay?
I wouldn't be surprised in the rap game. There are no surprises, but it's like the West Coast sound definitely sound like an accent that I've heard before. And then I'm like, who's Lefty Gunplay? Which also, why is Lefty Gunplay? Why is that your name as opposed to Righty Gunplay?
He's a lefty. Yeah, look, don't. Hey,
you know what? You got me. Hey, good point. Fair enough.
It's unconventional to see that. You know what I mean? And hitters, most of them, 70% of them are right-handed. You know.
Yeah, he leans out the driver's side for drive-bys.
Right.
You didn't think I'd have the courage to do it behind the wheel, but huzzah, tizah.
Oh wait,
Lefty Gunplay.
No, he actually has to go behind. He actually has to be behind the kid seat behind the gunman. Because like, look, I'm not a righty. I can't do it out the. I
can't do it out the right side, bro. You gotta go up the other side of the road.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's like, nah, man, I'm a lefty. I use my dominant hand.
Yeah, exactly. But there is a rapper named Gunplay who was a rapper with Rick Ross. Like that's why I remembered him. Yeah.
Oh yeah, somebody remembered something.
But
about
he's
Rick
from
Ross.
Florida, so I was like, that can't be it. But yeah. At the end, but it was just such a it was a feature where he barely did anything, but it was so perfect.
Yep.
Shit get crazy, spooky, hilarious.
Shit get crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious. Which I'm like, what an interesting choice of adjectives for this. It's like, yeah, life gets crazy, scary, spooky, but sometimes
spooky and hilarious. In that order, a lot of times.
Yeah, in that order is like, yes. I don't know what Scooby-Doo episode this is, but like, it sounds like each of their reactions like, ruh-roh, crazy, very, rookie, hilarious. Like,
and then, okay, we get Dodger Blue, which I remember listening to this track and I kind of remember not really having as many thoughts on it when I first heard it when I did the live stream for it. Mm-hmm. And then coming back to it, it's I remember why, because it goes by so fucking fast. It's a really smooth cut. Instrumentally, it's the smoothest, chillest ass West Coast sounding shit of the whole album, and it feels very much like oh yeah, this is carrying the groove. You know what I'm saying? Another of that West Coast shit. Play it again. But for me, it's so short, and there's only one verse where really the only purpose of the song is the one line where he explicitly references the beef. You know what I'm saying? Because he says, he said, "Have you ever took a fade and ran 3 more back to back? Oh, you haven't? Then shut the fuck up and keep it rap." And right after that, he makes the fucking Jason sound. He goes like, "Ka, ka, ka, ka." I was like, oh god. That was the most terrifying. In this song that's so chill and laid back, that was the most terrifying thing to happen.
Which and I think the best description I heard for this song was actually earlier on Threads, where somebody was like, if Insecure was still around, this would definitely be the background to an episode. I'm like, yeah, in terms of its sonic, it's
definitely
it'd be perfect in the background Easter. I mean, the whole album for sure, but specifically this song would definitely be the background for a sequence. It is very chill. It doesn't mean that his words don't still have a little oomph to them. Meditate over some money. I see Franklin. I find Zen. Bitch, I'm from the land. Don't say you hate L.A., but live in L.A. and pretend.
Yeah, right.
Tarantino, Alejandro, Spike Lee. Just know you took the scenic route if you stand by me. Stupid.
And then, the hook with Wally the Sensei, it sounds really good. It definitely sounds cool as fuck. But then there's not really a second verse except for the dance thing, the walk, 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 tip, toe, pivot, walk. It's like, oh, okay,
It's like, yep, he hitting that. He really hitting that. It's mean to say.
It just feels this was the all right. We're just chilling out, relaxing. This was not that deep. I'm just letting you know, don't fuck with me. I had to include that lyric somewhere of the "don't fuck with me."
Yeah, then we chilling. I'm from LA. Don't fuck with me. But it's but we're doing our thing.
Shit can still get spooky, hilarious.
Yeah, crazy, scary,
spooky, hilarious. Then we get peekaboo.
Peekaboo.
Just Okay, there's so many hooks on this song. Like, just from the...
They talk about no.
Like, and then afterwards, the, huh? They talk about that. It's so, like, perfect. It's like, what the fuck is that? And then with the, hey, that's my bitch. Hey, with all that fake shit. Hey, that's my bitch. It's the way that, like, I could so see him doing the, like, go back up. No.
Because you can
hey, with all that fake shit.
You can see the pointed finger in speed while hey, that's my bitch. That's my bitch. Don't touch that. Hey, that's my shit. Don't touch that shit. Like, it's the uncle. Come on. Hey, I told you ass. Sit down. Sit the fuck down.
But then when he says, like, peekaboo, I just put the boogers on my chain, nigga, peekaboo. Like,
why does it? Puppy gang.
Look, I just hate the boogers being the reference for jewelry.
Snotty and shiny.
Like, that's gross.
And that's the shit that's spooky and hilarious.
Yeah. And then, what do you say? 762s, I make them plank, peekaboo. Like, are we still planking? What is that?
I mean, he is. Shit.
Pop it out, you better not smut my name. Is it trying to make, is smut gonna become a thing?
I don't know.
Smut my name, fam?
Yeah, I've never heard smut used as a verb.
Yeah, but I get what he means when he says it. You know?
Yeah, it's like, don't besmirch the name of Kendrick Lamar.
You're right. And then just that fucking bing bop boom 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 bop bam. The type of shit I'm on you wouldn't understand.
So allegedly that's a reference to the fucking greatest rapper of all time. Yeah, Super Hot Fire. And when I saw what it was,
wow.
I'm like, yeah, like it's there in the Genius thing because I heard about it after it came out, and then they played the side by side. I'm like, I'll be fucking damned, this nigga still making.
That's
because it's not the first time I've heard a reference to Super Hot, and I don't think it's the first time I've heard it from Kendrick, which is very funny to me. But
people really like that fucking skit.
His career would have started like really going around the time that was relevant, which is a weird thing to think about like Kendrick being at home on YouTube, like, ha, that's hilarious.
Yeah. But just
when I funny, like, hey y'all, you gotta check this video out. This is funny.
But when I first saw it, it was what was it? Yeah, there was a what was it? It was a SpongeBob clip with Mr. Krabs calling the radio line, like, you got that track that goes bebop boo boo bop? No, man, you mean the one that goes bing bop boom bop boom bop bam.
But like when I put it together, I had to remember the fucking the Super Hot verse. I'm like, how'd it go? Like bing, bam, bop, bada bop, boom, pow. I'm like, who the fuck thinks of that?
Yeah.
Like, we were talking about old internet before the show. That's some old internet shit by this point.
Oh, for sure.
The type of shit
that's
I'm on.
Some archived internet
it's like,
shit.
Correct.
But it's also used as just to be the funny joke of like I'm saying nonsense, but like, oh, you just wouldn't get it.
You know what somebody needs to do? Somebody needs to put those sound effects over Adam West Batman. Just bing, bop, boom, boom,
beating
bop,
up villains.
Damn.
Oh, that's
with like
perfect.
the giant on screen.
Yes.
Biff.
Oh man.
Blammo.
Right. Then we get the Heart Part 6, which is such a fucking flex. Like the way because someone brought that up, and I had the exact same thought.
Yeah, who was it that said that? Because I heard that too, where it's like, what an amazing power move to just ignore.
Yeah.
Which like that's, and you know what the funniest thing is too? That's how Drake could have won the beef if his ego didn't get in the way. Drake could have beaten Kendrick by ignoring him and continuing to be successful. But because
if he had actually had some hits, if he actually like managed to get out some things that were like, oh, those were real bangers, right?
If he stopped picking on him and stopped goading him to make a response and just let him say it's like, oh, it's no big three, it's just big me, and Drake had just ignored it from the start. But here's the thing, Kendrick knew that Drake's ego was too big to let that slide. He knew he would goat him. And that's what makes it funny, is the same tactic that Drake could have used to dead this like 7 months ago. Kendrick used, where it's like, anyways, here's the Heart Part 6. It's like, ha, I got you, Kendrick. Here's the Heart Part 6. He ignored him. and said,
Yeah.
"Hey,
And
here's
honestly,
the real
you
heart,
know,
part 6."
and you know what's funny? Drake's response is the last response of the diss tracks. Drake
Yes,
actually, he
and
started the beat with 2
it
tracks
was a
and he ended
failure.
it. Yeah, and it did so badly. Like Kendrick's like, I'm not even gonna respond to it. You know, I heard one fan on the
It speaks for
Discord
itself, and
actually,
it's gotten worse with time.
yeah, and one fan on the Discord actually brought up there like, yeah, that's probably the nicest thing Kendrick could have done is just ignore that.
Yes, you know why? Because I deserve
He
it
just
all.
let the
He
internet
already
speak
has
for
it.
itself, and yeah, he just let the
It's like,
internet speak. Like,
He's like, I can't say anything about you that you haven't already like replied to yourself and made yourself look embarrassing. Aside, which we didn't touch on, the lawsuits.
oh right, yeah, that is
Or not the
happening. Yeah.
lawsuits. Sorry, the pre-legal filings, because it's not officially a
Well,
suit yet. Again,
from
even
yeah,
though they're under
from
the
what
same fucking they're both under UMG.
yeah, well, from what I'm hearing is like Drake is essentially trying to go like, you might have given them some push to, you know, get some bots on this to make the song more popular than it really was. So UMG, you might have done that, and it's one of those like, well, if
They did that
is
for
a
him.
practice that they would be doing, yeah, then they definitely did it for you. Remember when your name and face was on?
Yeah.
I remember there was a moment where his face was on all these Spotify like recommended playlists. It's like, this isn't natural. I don't think this many people are listening to him in this genre and this genre. Like he's got a song in it, but he's not like the face of it. And you know, yeah. And so it becomes this thing of like. Yeah. So it becomes this thing of like, okay, well, you know, it's all well and good when you're using the fucked up mechanism, but as soon as it's used against you, well, no, actually, let's burn it all down. They've actually been cheating. You know what I mean? It's one of those like, okay, either they've been doing it for both of y'all, or they haven't been doing it, and for you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I love the logic of the arguments too. It's like, look, I know he called me a pedophile and says that I'm harboring a secret child, which if I was doing that, the authorities I would be arrested. So you're wrong on that front. And then months later,
It's
when
like,
Not Like Us just explodes across the entire planet, it's like, I know he called me a pedophile and said I'm harboring a secret child, but there's no way the song was that popular across the entire planet.
Right.
And being played at the Kids' Choice Awards.
No, it wasn't. Why would people want to diss? Why would someone want to listen to a diss track to me? Yeah.
You know, it's like, and it like children's like fucking birthday parties and bat mitzvahs and shit like that. You know, it's like, and it also has like 7 Grammy nominations. It's not that popular. Are you sure? Are you sure about that? Like,
okay, it's one of those things where it's like you're not like it feels like a sort of like he's doing a thing of like, well, fuck it. If I can't find a way to, you know, engineer people getting me back on, getting, you know, a sizable group of people back on my side, and then I'm just burning it all down. You know, which kind of feels like a, dude, really? Like, it's not like Kendrick's actually suing you for being a pedo. Yeah, and like I said, it's not even suing him. He's suing both of their labels.
Yeah, it's like you're under the same label, and it's like, oh, well, those must be inflated. You know, they must have inflated those listens with bots. It's like they did for you. You think they would not do that? Here's the thing: if they did, then you have to admit that they also probably did it for you, which is embarrassing for you, or they didn't, and now it's a lose-lose.
Yeah,
you're embarrassed either way. Either it comes to light that your numbers were inflated, or they weren't, which is arguably worse, because that means that it's not even that everybody hates you, but that everybody was like, this song is funner than what you've put out. And that's got to sting.
And the thing about it is, it's like...
He didn't tell anyone to make it popular. It got popular organically.
Yeah, in fact, Kendrick has probably been doing the least amount of, like, promo. It's not like he's been, like... You know, Drake was, when he was pushing his diss track, was doing all types of, like, I'm going to post this and post that and post this remix to this. And, like, Kendrick was just drops the track and then goes away. You know?
The most he did, aside from the video, was doing it 6 times in a row at the pop-out.
But again, that was
the most marketing he did for it. Yeah, all of those events
were like months apart from each other.
Yeah. Across, like, 2.5 months, it got around the entire planet.
Yeah.
Like, people in nations that don't speak English natively also know Not Like Us. Like, the one that, how I knew he was done was hearing it at the Kids' Choice Awards. Like, not even the lyrics, just... I'm like, yeah, it's over, dog. They got you. They're at the Kids' Choice Awards. They got
the
you,
kids
bro.
ain't rocking with you.
Yeah, the Thundermans ain't rocking with you, bro. Henry Danger ain't rocking with you, bro. Yeah, you're cooked.
You know why?
It's a wrap for you, homeboy.
But getting on to the hard part 6 itself,
the actual hard part 6.
The real hard part 6. But
it's like there was Ghostbusters and then the real Ghostbusters. That's what he should have called it. The real Heart Part 6.
Right. You know, he ain't even giving it no breath. You know. But the shit is so, just instrumental wise, the shit is so goddamn smooth. Like production wise, it's so fucking chill with the guitars and shit. And the singers on the hook, but just what it's specifically about, like, which was really interesting about, like, hey, you know, when I started this off, I kind of wanted my friends to make it more than me. I wanted J-Rock to get on. I thought he was gonna be the big guy that would blow up, which is interesting in retrospective now, because it's like J-Rock, like he did have that fire verse on, you know, Money Trees, but I kind of think about it. I was like, what was his claim to fame? Oh yeah, the awful verse on the
Black Panther
soundtrack. It's like that's his legacy as far as like hip hop is concerned, and it's so weird that
then his weird conspiracy theories.
Yeah, I mean, he had that one song, win. Fuck everything else. I didn't like that one, you know, but people don't really talk about that one as much, right? They just talk about
people don't talk about J-Rock
My crew been ready. Everyone's ready. I'm so ready. I'm so ready. I have another rhyme to rime with ready, but oh shit, I'm not ready.
But there was like my crew is defendable or some shit, like some shit that didn't rhyme. And I think you pointed that out. I think because we had a conversation. I'm like, huh? Yeah, it's like my crew been ready, my clique been ready. But it's like, oh, Armageddon. That's what it. Rhymed.
Yeah. I got my clique. That's Armageddon.
Hard like Armageddon. What? I'm like, huh?
What is happening?
The verse was bad, but also got ignored because of Future's verse.
Well, yeah, because Future's was even more.
It was that song was a head scratcher.
What is happening? That song was like,
what a waste of a good beat. What a waste of a great beat.
Right? Because it was like, what? I don't understand. I mean, I guess this is just what happens. Hey, this is the throwaway track for soundtrack album. Usually you don't put your best foot forward on the soundtrack album. You put out the Lucy's and shit. But why? Why that? Why? Like Future, a man who never makes any bold decisions in his music, decides that this is a track where he decides to let Mickey Mouse possess him or some shit, whatever the fuck happened.
Yeah, let it Mickey in the booth. It just occurred to me that he's talking about laughing at, like, right at the beginning. They're laughing at Brian Pumper videos. And God bless FD Signifier that now I know who Brian Pumper is. I'm like, why the fuck was I forced to learn about this from a video essay?
Why is Kendrick Lamar watching Brian Pumper, like, laughing?
He says, niggas watching World Star videos, not the ESPYs, laughing at B Pumper's stomach turn, and I get up and proceeded to write something. So that means there was like, it was all the fucking Top Dog just in the studio, just like, hey, on World Star, like, hey, yo, a new Brian Pumper video came out.
It's like, because you have to be, you have to specifically be talking about the silly videos he did. Remember that time?
I don't think they're sitting in a room watching porn together, although that would be a whole separate type of hilarious. Where it's like,
the fact that they would be laughing at his.
It was Kendrick Ansel, J-Rock, and Top Dog himself watching Brian Pumper fuck some.
Not getting off on it, not like that. No, but specifically getting
everybody watching like,
man, this guy,
this is crazy.
When he hits that move, it's fucking hilarious.
That might have been what they were doing. Now that I think about it, because it was like 2008. No. They might have been watching Brian Pumper porn.
What I remember, World Star. But what I remember specifically was him because he got accused. Brian Pumper got accused of being gay. And Rick Ross, I think, accused him or something like that. So he made like this rap video with a fat guy in a gorilla mask or something like that. And he's like, this is you, Rick Ross. But then like his rapping was so like weirdly light and weak sounding. So like he's like, I remember specifically this line where he says like, you say there's a guy in a gay video. It ain't me. And it's like that specifically sounds like the thou dost protest too much of a man who definitely was in a gay video. Like, it ain't me. Guys, no, it totally wasn't me.
Hey guys, I'm not gay. It wasn't me.
It ain't me.
That's the same argument fucking Drake was using. talking to teenage girls. That ain't me. It ain't me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, weirdly
my
that was
God.
the time when 50 Cent was doing songs with Brian Pumper. Yes.
Oh my God, he did.
Or rap videos. Rap was in a weird place.
What the fact that fucking Kendrick Lamar has launched me back to like the backpack era of rap.
Right? Like
To make us think of him. To think of him in the Top Dog
Weird ass,
Boys,
short,
just
but
laughing at
muscular ass
bullshit
Brian
on the
Pumper.
internet. Just like
Yeah.
the imagery. See, this is why he's such a talented artist. His imagery alone in the first fucking 4 bars has me in stitches of thinking about, like, imagining that. It's like just 4 niggas sitting around, not even going in the booth yet. It's like, hey yo, this new Brian Pumper video came out. Come look at this, and then just going just laughing. It's like Absol in the corner, mumbling raps, fumbling packs of Black and Mild.
Oh yeah.
Niggas are just high as shit watching World Star. This is the most niggerish.
Right? They're making all this
Behavior.
important lyricalistic music. And this is what they're fucking watching.
Yeah, it's like man's about to put Section 80 to wax. It's like, hey, it's like let me hit that J before I go in this booth.
Wait, play back that Brian Pumper
cartoons
video one
and
more
cereal.
time where he said, it ain't me. That shit was hilarious, bro.
Oh my God.
Oh, man. But what was he saying? And then, like, he kind of brings up, well, first of all, the SWV is on the hook. That's why it sounds so fucking smooth with the, use your heart and not your eyes. I was like, okay. Because that shit was fucking buttery.
Sounded
smooth.
beautiful.
Then,
Oh my God. So good.
And then he kind of like admits some shit here where he's like, put everything I had left in the family business. And he says, now it's all about Kendrick. I want to evolve, place my skill set as a black exec. I jogged my memory knowing Black Hippie didn't work because of me. Creatively, I moved on with new concepts to reach, like, just a sort of like, oh, wow, like the admitting, like, I might have been part of why this didn't work as well, you know.
Which is very unfortunate because Black Hippie, as I recall, was pretty solid.
But I remember they never got to put out a full project. Yeah, because it just kind of, everyone was waiting and it just didn't happen. Yeah.
And the fuck happened to Black Friday or not? That shit, that's never coming out. Like, you think Black Hippie
album?
that Black?
Yeah, the thing he was supposed to do with J. Cole. Yeah, that
Black
shit
Friday
was
is extra dead.
That was like half a song and a fucking Canva picture that they made real quick.
Yeah,
that is the extent of that project.
But very much like the honesty here, even just like a high head squabbling bloods, power rules, and key ways for this little thing. Yours, oop, he's lost it. Where'd it go? For this little thing of ours we called TDE. I watch you take some penitentiary chances by the least. Remember in the county building with mixed by Ali. It's like, oh no, it's like his imagery here just really works for me because it's like it's very much a story of. Even though he's not with TDE, I can still hear that there's a lot of respect and some fond memories, even for the shit that didn't work out. Yeah,
and then he says, like, kind of has the lesson here, right? Where, like, to all my young niggas, let me be the demonstration, how to conduct differences with a healthy conversation. If that's your family, then handle it as such. Don't let the socials gas you up or let emotions be a crutch. Pick up the phone and bust it up before the history is lost. Hand-to-hand shake is good when you can have a heart-to-heart. It was like, you know?
Yeah, no, it's just smooth. It's just smooth all the way through. Smooth.
Then we get GNX, the fucking with that cut up piano and that weird, like, at first I didn't know how to feel about it. That weird mania-ass energy that he brings to shit where it's like, because it was like dun, 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 dun. I was like, what the fuck is happening?
I'm like, oh shit, did I fall into a fever dream again?
Right. But then the way Kendrick's hook hits so strong here, it made me forget that he actually doesn't have a verse on this song. Like, with the fucking, tell him Kendrick did it. Hey, who showed you how to run a blitz? Tell him Kendrick did it. Yo, who put the West back in front of shit? Tell him Kendrick did it. Yeah, I'm tripping and I'm loving it. He just sounds like a fucking madman. And then with this track, I think all the verses...
He doesn't have a verse here. That's crazy.
Yeah.
He said, what was it? Pac said, it's like, you know what? I'm going to let my young niggas... I'm going to let
my little homies ride on you,
my little homies ride and do it for you.
But, yo, every verse on here actually fucking hits all the way through for me. You know what I mean? From Peso is like, hey, on the dead ones, we're treating with enemigo like some breadcrumbs.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like all my killers on gold. Like who said some red room? All I think about was when I see heads come. Like do my dance, hit the chop when I see the ops go. Let them claim it. We the ones who really pop, bro. Don't televise it. We the ones who let them chops blow. Ops know. Let them piss them off, and it's a flop show. Like just the way the lyrics flip and shit like that. It's just like oh my god.
Yeah, no, it's like Peso was handling business on that one for sure.
And then remember on the hook where he said like, "Tell him Peso did it," and then you hear the on the hook you hear the like, "Wow, hi, have you ever been a joint and you know it?" Like just the way that weird thing of like it sounds like he's doing a car, going by, and then just as a hi.
Have you ever had to
that hook is so crazy. Yeah. Oh man, and then Young Threat at the end with his voice because like the beat kind of gets a little low, and you hear his voice like.
What a strong ass name that is. Young Threat.
Young Threat. Jesus Christ.
Like, goddamn. All right. That's almost as bad as like serial killer. Like,
yeah, it's like y'all had y'all chance, y'all couldn't do it. I swear I'm coming worse than your baby's mom. I'm couldn't put niggas through it.
I'm with the Rockstar bitch. They want Lizzie McGuire. I'm switching gears. I popped the clutch. I send a nigga up. It's like Lizzie McGuire.
I call you niggas bluff. Yeah, I said Lizzie McGuire. What the fuck you gonna make of it?
Look, it's coming from somebody named Young Threat. I'm not judging his taste in early 2000s.
It's getting down to the wire. Look, he busted out all the kids' TV shows. It's getting down to the wire. Get on my Bob the Builder shit. Getting down with the pliers.
Right. Then
we get to the final track, and this is really the conversation that I wanted to come up to because this track, you want to give someone points for honesty. You know what I mean? Like really laying out how things really are going and the tumultuousness, but also the love that's there and this, that, and the third. But something just felt a little too rocky in terms of like how he was describing the relationship with this girl. It was just like and in a way that makes me feel like Kendrick, are you afraid of your girl just a little bit? Like what is going on here? Like
he said, I like a little bit of fear in my life.
Right? Like it's kind of like what is fear? Like this is the fourth verse of Fear. Where it's like it feels like that, like, oh, we're gritting our teeth because relationships are work. It feels like that type of track, but it feels like, I don't know, this feels like a little bit too much work. I don't know, buddy. Because he's like, the way he starts it is, me and my bitch got a complicated relationship. She's so controlling. I noticed it ain't no playing with. I met her when she was off the porch as a teenager. She said one day I would right my wrongs and see paper. But just that initial, she's so controlling. I was like, it's like just to hop out the bando with that one is kind of like, yeah, like why'd you say that? Like, it didn't sound cute.
It's like, yeah, it can be a little spooky and it's just like, Kendrick,
hilarious.
Blink twice if you're, right? Blink twice if you're in danger, buddy.
Because at the end of the verse, this is the part where I was like, oh, maybe this is like the emotional beat where I was thinking, like, remember when Granny died? You looked at me and said, baby, dry your eyes. Depend on me as your relief. Let your anger be mine. I remember that being like, oh, that was so sweet, and then he says, we was locked in ever since then. So territorial, even took me away from my friends. And I was like, oh, wait, what? And then in the background, you hear the little like Jason noise again, which makes me even further feel weirded out by this line because it's like, wait, she was territorial and keeping you away from. That's a little abusive. I think that can be perceived as abusive.
He liked his girl's territorial. He was like, yeah, I like a woman that could beat a bitch ass.
But look, and like I was trying to give it the benefit of a doubt though, because like I was thinking maybe it was gonna lead to like, oh, I'm keeping you away from guys who are like, they ain't shit and they're keeping you from what you need to be doing. Like, I thought he was going to bring that up at some point, but he kind of doesn't, so it's kind of like
when you get to like second verse, said you're going to see other people if I didn't grow with you, wasn't no more hiding in front of stoves with you. You want reality, not tried to for show, I get you. To tell the truth, I've been pretty used to what open-minded people do. So it was like...
Which was a weird line there. Like, wait, what? Like, every time you think he's kind of starting to say something like, hey, yeah, you're right. And then he's like, I was getting used to what open-minded people do. Like, what? What is he trying to... It just feels so weirdly obfuscating. Yeah, like, open-minded... Like, because it sounds like, is he talking about, like, an open relationship or something? Like, I just don't get what that means. And then...
I guess the way I'm kind of reading it is like some people will say they're open-minded until they actually have to like confront it, and then they can be a little closed off or judgmental. So it's like people will say they're open-minded but they don't really mean it, is kind of how I took it. Where it's just like,
guess.
it's like, oh, you want me to be honest and forthright, so no more holding the pistols in front of you. I'm about that thug life. But then if you get in danger, you gonna switch up on and be like, I'm scared. Don't be scared when I told you what I was about.
Yeah, I get you on that. But then he says, what is it? Then he has this lyric. Because, like, at first I'm like, oh, man, all right, Kendrick, maybe she's being a little tough on you. Maybe she's like, hey, yeah, blink twice if there's a little issue. But then he says, so jealous, hate it when I hit the club to get some bitches. Wrote them off, rather see me hit the church and get religious. I'm like, skirt, skirt. Kendrick, like, oh, yeah, wait, what was that about you cheating on your wife? Like, hey, bro. Like, maybe the reason why maybe she's a little strict because, you did this. This is the Chris Rock skit, right? Where it's like, she gonna forgive you, but she ain't gonna forget it. You know what I mean? Yep. She ain't gonna let you forget it. Like, so what is the situation here? What's the sitch? Like, is it like she was too strict and you kind of like wanted to break out from that because you were feeling kind of, boxed in and then you cheated and then again? Or is it like he cheated, like kind of being flagrant and now she's kind of cool? Like, I'm just not sure what happened first, so I'm just kind of like, I'm stuck in this weird space, you know what I mean? Like, and I feel like the song is trying to do it like, but through that, we're in love. We're so in love, you guys. But it's like, there's just not enough warmth in this song to like push through that. You know what I mean? Like, so.
Yeah, which I guess that might be part of the theme is that it's just like, hey, if I'm going to be toxic, I'm going to be toxic with somebody that's toxic with me.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like it was played better. Affirming. It was played better on the Mr. Morale album track, where it felt more equal in terms of like, yeah, you're acting like this, and ain't that just how guys act? Well, you're acting like this, and that's just how bitches act. Da, da, da. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like it felt more push and pull, give and take, and I was kind of wishing for that to be here too, right? That there would be like,
I think you're looking for growth, and he's just like, at this point, he's like, kind of doubling down, because even later on in that verse, loved you more when you flip and lose your shit. I hugged you more. It's sexy to me.
Yeah,
and hold that grudge some more.
Like he likes that problematic.
Is it no
love? Yeah. Is it no?
he's like, you know what? It's like, yeah, she hard on the outside, but she's soft on the inside for me, bro. And that's what I love about her. On the
you don't know her like I know her, man. But it's like, yeah. But he says, who you fooling? I know what you're doing. You my contradiction. Remember when you caught that body and still wiggled through that sentence? Loved you more. When you flip and lose your shit, I hugged you more. It's sexy. It's like, it's that weird sort of like, wait, he's talking about her and shit. Wait, what? Did your girl catch a body? Wait, what's happening? Like, what the fuck is going on?
Throwing shit around. Now we throwing beef around.
Oh my God. Yeah, and then it's like he gets on that one part at the end where he goes like, in 2014, I went to Africa. Baby, you was my passenger. My eyes and ears for all the years that the neighborhood had baffled us. Of course, I had to wrap it up. I didn't fully trust you. Fabrication, I discussed you. Then you blocked me. I said, fuck you. And it's sort of like, whoa, this is feeling really complex. And then SZA comes in kind of playing his girlfriend's character, but only for a little while. But it's just kind of like nigga, what? I gave you life. I bring the motherfucking charisma in this bitch. I bring the blessings. I gave you power, nigga. I bring the... And I was like, holy shit, okay, all right. And then he cuts that off and goes like, then fall right back in love with you the very moment that I touch you. And then in the background you hear the Jason thing again, and it's like, okay, any moment I'm trying to find sweetness in this, you're bringing it back to feeling kind of creepy. And I'm like, I don't know what you want me to feel with this track right now.
Is that, I think is that Empire love that Cookie and Lucius
Oh, right, like, yeah. Oh,
it's like,
right.
What? I can't stand your ass, but can't nobody love you like I love you, baby.
Right. At this point, we have an understanding,
It's like, hey, look, she know what I be doing, and he know where home is. So we're just like, I guess in its own way, it's just like
problematic
even the worst people, as long as they're authentic, can make it work. Which I guess
two crackheads can stay together forever.
Right. It's kind of that. It's like, you know what? I'm bad, but I'd rather be bad with somebody that can match my freak. Which I guess is like a wholesome ethos. It's just like when you think of like a theme, it's like, that's not inspirational, but it is realistic.
I guess it just hits too weird for me to like, it's
like,
it's not exactly.
You're not too great either. Huh.
Yeah, it's not exactly love the way you lie, because that's just like exploitative with its problematic relationship. But it's just like, and so it's like it's artistic in that way that makes me want to give it props for the honesty. But at the same time, I'm just like stuck here like. I just feel like this is none of my business. I don't like, you know what I mean? But then the way he ends the verse, this is what like really threw me off, right? In terms of trying to figure out what it really meant. Because he goes like, bitches getting marked out. They can't erase our history. They margins ain't big enough. They all led by bigotry. My woman in my right hand, my saint and my sin. Ain't no bitch like my bitch, cause that bitch is my pen. And when I first heard it, I was like, wait, my pen, like a pen that you write with. Oh yeah, later on they're talking about the Gloria pen. But, originally I was thinking like pen as in like state pen, like my penitentiary, like my jail.
she my lockdown. She my down.
Yeah, and I was thinking like in both terms of
bitch.
like she's the person who makes me, free to be as creative as I am, but I feel like I'm blocked in by this person, and using that word pen to sort of mean both. You know what I mean? It just felt like a weird sort of like, oh, did he do that on purpose? Because that's
I feel like that was definitely
interesting
a deliberate choice.
Yeah,
because it's like using her as like, oh, she's my muse, but she also like has me locked down, locked in.
Yeah. So it was just a weird emotion to end on for this album. So that's where I'm like, that's where I get the feel of like, was this a victory lap? I don't know. Like originally when I saw this album come out, I saw a bunch of features on it, and I was thinking, oh, this is probably going to be I had some Lucy's hanging around, and now that we've got a whole bunch of hype, how about I just get some of my friends on these tracks? You know what I'm saying? We can wrap them up as like songs and whatnot, So it's like, I came into this thinking this probably won't be like his best work or whatever, but it'll probably still be interesting because it's Kendrick, and him on Autopilot is still pretty good. But not only did I also get those tracks where it did feel like I said, that one track where it's just his friends rapping on it. Like, not only was that happened and it was good, it wasn't even that much of the album, and this did just legitimately feel like another album. Like, it didn't feel like I had some Lucy's lying around, let's take advantage of the hype. It really does feel like there's like complexities to this. Like, these aren't just Lucy's. These are like legit tracks that he really threw together to make something fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like a Untitled Unmastered 2, like I think might have been concerned about. But I mean, even as I was thinking, I mean, this might be my new favorite project from him, just because like I enjoy when artists I'm fine if artists have an overarching kind of theme or a semblance of narrative, but I think the best artists don't always have to do that. It's like you can kind of expand and move around in terms of like your topic material track to track versus like having an overall. So it's like, I think Not All Right, God damn it. To Pimp a Butterfly has overarching themes, and Mr. Morale has overarching themes. But I think Damn is a little bit looser. It has some overarching like ideas, but I think it's a little looser, and I think that's why I like that one the best. But this might be my new favorite in terms of just like sonically, it's extremely West Coast, which I really, really like, that he's just kind of like embracing that part of himself. So I think it's the guy that had a skit that was based off a tweet, and it's just like basically the themes of every album between Section 80 and now. And when you get to GNX, it's just like, y'all got me fucked up, which I'm like, yeah, that, it's just different forms. It's like, I fucked up, I'm fucked up, my city's fucked up, the world's fucked up. And then you get to, so I think Mr. Morale was just like, damn, I'm fucked up. But GNX is, y'all got me fucked up. And I'm like, yeah. If there was a way to summarize it, yeah, because in just like different ways, it's like, this is me. It's like, I've done my work in therapy. That was Mr. Morale. I'm looking at my flaws. I faced myself. And now, you know what? I'm going to have fun. I'm going to pop out. I'm going to be a little toxic because I'm human. It's like with my bitch, who my bitch, and she know that she my bitch. Like, I'm going to have fun. Right. I'm going to be weird. It's like, and I worked and earned all of this shit. Like, it's a very, like, I know there's critiques and explorations and deep dives into Mr. Morale and what it means, but this one feels like very authentic Kendrick, where it's just like, I feel like if Mr. Morale is like, oh, you're sitting down having a deep philosophical interview about Kendrick and his like experiences in life and trauma, that's like a therapy session. This is just talking to Kendrick when you like hanging out with shit. Like, that's how you get a story. Me and the boys, when we were making Section 80, we were kicking it in the studio watching Brian Pumper videos. Like, that sounds like some shit you would hear from a homeboy. Or it's like,
a part of him too, right? Yeah.
It's like, oh, we about to go outside and shoot some dice and crip walk, or oh, we about to fucking ghost ride to GNX or some shit. Or it's like, hey, is that your girl? It's like, yeah, It's like, she held me down ever since I was cheating and shit like that. Like, this feels like just a regular ass nigga who makes some banger songs.
Yeah, that's what it. This if the last album was Kendrick Lamar, the prophet here to drop knowledge on you. This is him, like Kendrick Lamar, the person, and that it still has that element of it. We still get those tracks like with Reincarnated, but yeah, so much of it feels like him kicking it and having fun, and still like, you know, not letting you forget that he's the fucking dopest nigga alive, but still
Yeah.
like on what that echelon of lyricism would be relative to someone still having fun and like, you know, jumping all over the track. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is like probably the most homeboy version of Kendrick we've got, where you see many sides of him. Where you see it's like, yeah, there's bits of him being vulnerable, but it's also him just being like a cocky dickhead. Like if you're hooping with somebody and he got you beat like 14-0, he's gonna puff his chest out and be like, God damn, nigga,
Right.
you trash. I'm the GOAT, yo. It's like
Right.
Kobe wish he
Right.
was me. You know, it's like, yeah, that's
Right.
what you
Right.
get, and that's how you get fucking like, hey now, say now, or like squabble up and shit like that.
Yeah. Now I feel like so overall I would give this a 4.5. A 4.5.
Mm.
Like so a 4.5 is what I was trying to say initially. I think it's like solid as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Dope ass. Of course, slightly better than the norm. Like I said, just one or two songs that felt like a little underwhelming, but like overall, just a solid. Because I was looking at like which songs do I like versus which I don't, and there's really only like okay, Luther, Hey Now, and Dodger Blue. I feel like are slightly underwhelming, but they're still not bad. They're just like
It's
next
like
to
underwhelming
the incredible
for Kendrick.
tracks. Yeah, that's exactly what you have to do. Look, if we're gonna have to have this conversation, we gotta have this conversation. Okay, there is a level that I am used to with you, Kendrick, and if I hear
Right.
6 other tracks that sound immaculate and I hear something that doesn't, I'm gonna notice the things that ain't as immaculate. You know what I mean? Like, and that's
It's like,
still,
damn,
you know,
this
it's
is
gonna.
It's like this is a letdown for Prince. Like,
Right, it's one of those things like, but look, it's only because we know your potential. I feel like the parent, right? It's like it's only because we know what you're capable of, you know.
yeah, it's still,
But yeah, what would you give it?
4.5. I give it a 5.
Yeah.
It's hard to stop listening through the album when I started. At points, like I found myself, or just like starting it over, I'm just like, I gotta experience it again. If I look at just on my Spotify, I liked all of them. Like they would, when I first listened to it, I liked them all. And as I went through it, I'm like, yeah, no, I still like all of these. I don't feel like skipping them. There's I have a slight difference where with Tyler's, where I still think is super duper strong. I just have, you know, it's like my native. It's just a sonic preference. I just think the sounds.
Yeah.
Like, Tyler's are more diverse. So some of them may not jive, but I'm glad he took the risk because he's talented enough to back it up. So they're all artistically talented. I agree with that. Same metric for Kendrick. I think it just bumps it up a notch over with Kendrick.
Yeah.
That
Well,
half point just because of the beats. And I think that's why I can put up with stuff like a Dodger Blue or like a Luther, or even in a Gloria, because it's just like
absolutely for sure.
Yeah.
Good, yeah, even on these songs that I'm saying are like, oh, these are the lessers, but like I still wouldn't skip them if I heard them. They still sound really good, you know. It's just a relative thing in terms of like, well, compared to these other tracks, is it really on the same level? You know what I'm saying? Just that conversation ultimately. But like, so I look back, I was like, oh wait, I actually gave Tyler's album a 4. And I gave this one a 4.5, and I was like, oh dang. Tyler really is the biggest after Kendrick. That's a fact now. And you know what's funny? Originally, so the score, just to get meticulous with it, the score I gave for this album was a 4.583. So, you know, like, all right, well, you know, round that down to a 4.5, you know what I'm saying? The score I gave Tyler's album was like a 4.38 or something like that, where it's just like, you could round it up, but I did feel like there was one or two things where I'm like, I don't know if it's on the exact same level as a 4.5. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's like
that conversation, you know?
Like the ranking varies based off artists. It's not like an objective thing of like, oh, this is. It's like, no, this.
Yeah,
right. For me, as a fan of Kendrick, who's, I think I've actually listened to everything, but I just don't remember Section 80 well. It's a 5 by Kendrick standards for me. But it's not like a comparing this 5 to like the 4. I'm pretty sure I think I gave Tyler's a 4.5. They're different because they're different artists. So it's like a 4.5 for Tyler is different from like a 4.5 for Kendrick, which is probably where I would put.
Yeah. But it is interesting that we kind of have this specific, like, we're both like half a point off in terms of how we feel of, You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, again, albums are doing different things and stuff like that. But there is also can be that feeling of just like, but in terms of like what I really feel if I'm going to be meticulous about what really hits harder, like it does kind of feel like this is ringing stronger with me. You know?
I think because,
and again,
I think
we're topping at the upper echelons. It's not this is good and this is bad, right? It's just like this just feels like it has. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just because this album is super duper West Coast, and Tyler's is a Tyler album. Kendrick's is a West Coast Kendrick album. It's still a Kendrick album.
Yeah.
But it's specifically a West Coast Kendrick album, which is different than some of his other projects. It's not to say that he hasn't had West Coast songs on it, but this, I'm like, this is Compton, this is Rosecrans, this is
maybe
LA.
Good Kid, Mad City is the most.
Yeah.
This is going for a West Coast sound and it's not even for like all of it. It's really when it gets to the heart of the album, really.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I noticed. Yeah, like To Pimp a Butterfly, that went the jazz route. Damn, wasn't really trying to sound any genre. Honestly, I don't remember.
It varied, and that's probably I think that's why I favored that one a lot too. Was its varied, which is ironic because it's like the variability is partially why Tyler's is like slightly lower because I'm just like, well, it's like you didn't hit everything. Like if I had to make a minor,
sometimes it doesn't. Yeah,
like if I had to make any minor adjustment, I think there could be a slight adjustment to the sequencing on this album, but it's not anything that bothers me. But I do think you could probably put TV off at the start, and you might be able to move where Gloria is placed, maybe after Luther. Well, no, not after, because not two sets of songs back to back, but a couple songs after Luther. And then, like, it might sound a little bit different if you listen to it in that order.
I think my favorite album from him is still To Pimp a Butterfly. I think it's just so, like, going left field and yet still doing, like, so much fun with it. I feel like that is, like, he's always balancing, I think, this thing of, like, being fun and being introspective. And whereas I feel like Mr. Morale is really the introspective one, and this one's the really, like, West Coast, like, yeah, there's some there, but it's mostly about, like, you know, going crazy. Like, To Pimp a Butterfly, I feel like, was that perfect balance of the obscene levels of craziness and the obscene levels of, you know, creativity and introspection. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think that's the thing for me is, like, because I think To Pimp a Butterfly is a beautiful body of art. And that's definitely, it's like, without a shadow of a doubt, it's like that even goes beyond a 5 just because the beautiful, like, creation. At the same time, I know that it doesn't have, for me, it does not have a huge amount of circulation. And I think that's where the difference is like, how much will I probably see myself listening to tracks from it later? So if I look at To Pimp a Butterfly, it's a beautiful album. And I listened to it a couple times, I think, when it dropped. But if I look back at what was coming out, it's like I probably listened to, you know, All Right, and King Kunta probably a couple times, like, since then. But I probably, like, I'm not going to throw on, I haven't thrown on, like, These Walls. Or I haven't thrown on, like, You. Or, like, Hood Politics. Or How Much a Dollar Costs.
I think, you know, Wesley's Theory, of course, still hits with that intro. Every nigga is a star.
Like,
for free for me. King Kunta, I was kind of cool on. I've always been a little bit of cool on. But, you know, I honestly fuck with These Walls a lot. And, of course, You is one where it gets really fucking... I mean, it's not a track I'd throw on any time, but it's one of those, like, whoa, he's really going for some shit here. And, of course, All Right. Like, these are, like, I think this track is kind of like, I'm listening to the album. Yeah. Oh, Black and the... But that's a dope track, too.
Song.
Dope
song.
The one we're fucking...
But I'm not, like... If I turn on the Black and the Berry, I might be going through... There's something political that happened in the world.
Yeah, I get you, but I love that track because fucking Assassin is on that shit. They treat me like a slave, are we black? Just remember that every race start from the black. Just remember that. I was like, woo, that shit gets me fucking high.
It's just like, great song, but I'm probably, like, you know, like going to a local heavy socialist meeting or some shit.
Yeah, I'm probably not listening to the album cut version of I or Mortal Man anytime soon on its own. Yeah.
Okay. So, and there's just like one last minor aside. Is there a reason why the video version and the album version of I are different?
I don't know. I think he just wanted to
I've always
surprise
found
people.
I've always found that interesting because I'm just like, I'm like,
Yeah,
wait a minute,
because you
things are
can't.
different.
I don't think. Yeah, you can't get that version.
No,
Is it
outside
available
of the
on
video.
Spotify?
I
Yeah,
don't think so.
it's annoying. I hate when rappers do that.
Which I'm like, thank you for giving me the same song. Yeah, and the album version is longer. Like the single version is
Well, because
almost
it
4
includes
minutes.
that, like, it
The
sounds
album version
really
is 5
live.
and a half. But he also slightly changes the lyrics.
Oh no, there's a whole like. First of all, the vibe is different because it sounds live and it sounds like it's being recorded live.
Yeah.
And then it's like sounds like a fight takes place, and then he like stops the fight and then goes like, "All right, we're gonna change it up and be about." Like I liked that because it had that feeling of like, oh, this feels like we recorded a show where this actually. I don't know if it happened or not, but it sounds like one of those like. A fight got started and we used hip hop, we used language, to pull people out of it. You know what I'm saying? So that felt like a cool moment of being like, yo, it just feels so live and real in how it plays out, that it's like a cool 1-2 punch to the Mortal Man track next. That was a crazy just experience of a moment. I remember like hearing that for the first time really was like, oh, whoa, is this happening right now? Like, and I love when artists can give you that feeling, right? Of like, is this happening? Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. So yeah. But again, great song, but it's still fascinating to me that it's like there's 2 different versions of it that exist, and God forbid YouTube ever goes down, one of those might disappear.
Yeah. But yeah, that sounds like the long and short of it of this album.
Yes.
Unless you got any more thoughts, I feel like we wrapped it up. I'm about to wrap it out.
Yeah, I mean, what was there one other point that you wanted to make about like Kendrick and Tyler that I thought you mentioned earlier?
Oh no! It's just, it's honestly just healthy comparing. Look, rap is a sport. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to go like, oh yeah, who really hit it though in terms of like what gave me the enjoyable experience. And like I'm not like I try not to be as unbiased as I can. Like I just try to look at it in terms of like, oh yeah, I just rated these songs together and then did the average and saw like which one felt like it hit a little stronger. And they're both like very solid albums that I am going to enjoy the fuck out of a bunch of the songs that I got from it. You know what I'm saying? But I just think it's an interesting that like, oh wow, these came out back to back. Oh, like just a fun little conversation to have. Yeah. Look, healthy competition. Look at that. Nobody's beefing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like it's all it's all love in the game of hip hop. Unless you're
that's right,
Drake Graham, where I'm pretty sure. It's but
ain't no love in the heart of the city.
Yep, ain't no love in the heart of the town. But yeah, I feel like that's it.
Well, yeah. All right. Well, yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for listening. Again, this has been the ReviewAnew podcast. If you want to support the show, of course, that's patreon.com/rapcritic to get all the content first and hear all that fun, sexy stuff, as well as joining the Discord and getting to vote on stuff and we get to meet and talk about white brotherhood. No, okay. But and then of course the Ko-fi.com/rapcritic to make your requests. You can request an album, or you can either request an album, a movie for us to review, or request a song or an album or an absolute best of playlist for me to play on my live streams. I love doing the absolute best of playlist, so definitely get with that. Act like you want it. And until next time, I'm DJ.
And I'm Will the Greatest.
And what they talking about? God damn it! I was hoping I was getting it on the first turn.
What they talking
about? Huh?
Huh?
Hey, with all that fuck shit.
My bitch.
I love how you could just see him doing that. Hey. Like you,
that's my
like
bitch.
like Uncle's watching you about to spill the beans, and spill some food somewhere. He's like, hey.
Hey, sit down. Hey, my bitch.